Welcome to Know and Grow. This is Bonnie Wiley, wife, mother, follower of Jesus, called to ministry, doing what I love most. And we're back out on that skinny limb today with Jeanette Carlson Swingle. She is my cousin's wife, and she has one great story to tell of her success with keto. And Jeanette, we're so happy to have you on with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I married into this Swingle family 47 years ago. We've had many ups and downs through the years, medical emergencies and so on that have put stress on me, and that's when I started putting on weight. Of course, everybody gains weight when they have babies, and I had 4 lovely daughters. And it's been a struggle through the years, up and down, up and down. We joke about, well, I've lost the same 100 pounds at least twice, and on the quest for the next jaunt, I keep saying now I'm not going to lose it because it keeps finding me. I'm going to get rid of it permanently. I'm not going to let it find me again. So that's my quest right now.
I like that thought. You're not just losing it, so it's still over here somewhere where it can come back. You're
Yes.
going to axe it.
Yep.
Take the axe and chop it off. Wow, that's great. And you tried different diets than did you try other diets before the keto diet?
I tried everything out there. I did Weight Watchers. I did, there was one where we had a formula, I can't think of the name of it right now, that I took of vitamins, Herbalife it was. I did that, and I did lose weight on that, but eventually I put it right back on. I've tried, I've just tried so many different ones, Atkins, and nothing. I think you get to a point where you pick and choose a little bit. Keto seems to work the best for me, and I'm very glad I found that one. And I still fine tune that a little bit to my personal needs. But
How old were you when you first started? You did your first really serious diet.
I was in my teens, and then after I had my kids, I did some more. I mean, I yo-yo dieted for years and years.
Me too.
I think a lot of people do. And every time it came back, it wanted to come back with 5 more pounds, which was
exactly
that much more discouraging. And at my age now, I said, I want to make this my last shot. We just had another grandbaby, and I wanted to be able to keep up with her and get around and, be able to do things. And this will be the 11th grandchild now.
Wow.
And, but she's the tiny one, and I want to be able to take her outside and do things with her. So I made up my mind I was just going to do this. And it was a year ago in May, April, I decided I was definitely going to figure out a way to do this. So I started on the keto, and it's just worked well for me. I'm a carnivore, basically. I have to do away with a lot of carbs, but I kind of pick and choose the thing that works best for me, and the exercise.
What kinds of exercises do you do?
Well, I'm still a farm girl, so I still go and throw hay and, feed cows and do a little of that barn work. But my basic exercise is walking. That is the best thing for me. It keeps my core strengthened and centered. It helps my legs. I do walk when the weather's good, I walk outside, but I invested in, and they pick on me for this, a walking treadmill for seniors. That was what I looked up, and I found a really nice one. I can fold it up and slide it under the couch. I can pull it out and use it. I don't need anything fancy with all computers. I just need something I can get on and walk. I can go a little faster if I want to, but yeah, that's not good at my age. So that's what works best for me.
Well, I think that the age part is important, because things that we would do when we were younger, when we're older, it puts more stress on the joints. So yes. Walking is just perfect for any age, whether you're 12 or 92. My 97-year-old father-in-law, you know him, John's dad, Pastor Wiley, he still walks, and he's 97.
And they say that's the best thing for you, just keep moving and get a good
Mm-hmm.
pair of shoes and do a little bit. You don't have to do 5 miles, 10 miles, a mile a
Mm-hmm.
day. That's plenty. I mean, and it doesn't have to be every day. Just something to keep you active and motivated, and it works. That's what works.
And like you said, you're a farm girl, so you've got some of that going too.
Yep.
Yeah. So now, did you share your age yet?
I'm 69. I'll be 70 in October.
My word. So
So,
there's hope for. I'm in my 60s too, so not
yep.
not not quite as old as
Not
you,
that far.
but pretty close, just a couple of years behind.
Yep.
And I'll be 68 in November, so we're just
Okay.
about 2 years apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
So.
think it's helpful to know that you can still do it at this age. I mean, I have lost 50 pounds in a year, and I'm kind of surprised myself, but it's going really well. I'm not done yet. There's still a few more pounds I'd like to kick off,
Mhm.
but slow and steady is the pace. And I have found over the years that
Mhm.
I would go on a diet and I would lose it really quickly, but I
Mhm.
would also put it back on really quickly and usually plus some. So it's easier. It's even though it might, you want to lose it quickly, it's better for yourself if you lose it slower and keep it off.
I would certainly agree with that. The slow and steady, because it's not just a diet. It needs to be a way of life, doesn't
Way
it?
of
It
life.
needs to be just incorporated into your life. And when you just go on a quick fix diet, you just can't maintain it. It just doesn't work that way. What kind of
Absolutely.
obstacles did you face, even with the keto diet, the one that's been very successfully for you? Um, what kinds of obstacles did you still face even with that successful diet?
Well, it's hard to I have a family, so
Mhm.
cooking for them and cooking what they like to eat and what they enjoy and denying yourself that because you want to lose the weight sometimes gets a little, you look at it and think, oh man, would I like some of that?
Oh
But
yeah, I mean
but
potatoes.
my
Potatoes
goal
are
was,
potatoes
yeah,
are farmers' food. Potatoes, right? I mean,
potatoes and macaroni. This family lives on
oh my
macaroni.
word,
So,
yes.
you
Our
know,
grandma used to make homemade
butter
noodles, and
noodles. Yeah,
oh yeah, you remember that?
yep. But
Yeah.
and they can eat it and not have a problem with it. But I do. And this time, when I started this journey, my goal was not so much to lose the weight, but I wanted to be healthy enough to be able to go with my grandkids and do things, and to not have a knee that was, so painful.
Mhm.
To get
Mhm.
there, just to be healthier and to feel better. And I can say I've honestly done that, at least that. I feel great. I get around much better. I mean, it was
Mhm.
the point where when I went up the stairs and down the stairs, I was like a little kid, one step at a time. And now I can go right up and down them with no problem. So
Mhm.
the weight was definitely an issue.
So you feel different. It's not just a matter of how you look. You feel much better.
Oh, how you look is a bonus. How
Yeah,
you
that's a good
feel,
point.
how you feel is the goal. For me, it was anyway.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah. And you brought up a point to me about how it was something about your jeans. It wasn't about fitting in your jeans, or I can't remember. Do you remember what that was?
Oh, now I'm trying to think what I did say to you.
So anyway,
Yeah,
it's not just a matter of
it's not
getting.
about how you look in your jeans.
How
It's
about getting back
how
into
you
their
feel and
jeans?
getting
Yeah.
there. Yeah, it was nice though to get a whole new wardrobe. I can't say I'm
Yeah.
complaining about that, but
Did you get rid of your old wardrobe? Is
I
that
got rid of everything.
so? How is
Because
that
if it's
a
there,
key?
there's always that temptation. Well, these jeans are getting a little snug, but if you look in the closet and that's the only size you've got or smaller, then you're going to get yourself back on track a little quicker, I think.
Hmm. Because
So,
you don't want to spend money to
now,
just go get a new wardrobe, do you?
well, when I started out, my goal was to lose the two in my
Mhm.
size, the two on the beginning of my weight, and I made both of those,
Yeah.
and I celebrated
Good.
every time I did.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And then I said, when I got to that goal, then I would set a new goal to get down to
Mm-hmm.
where I really feel I would be better off. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm most of the way there, but it's taken me a year, and that's okay.
That is okay. That's
You-
actually the best because I heard where if you lose too fast, with that lost fat, the skin becomes droopy with losing too fast.
Well, I think it's going to do that at my age anyway, but
Mine too.
it
Yeah.
will catch. It's I can deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll deal with that. I don't want to. I looked in the mirror the other day and I said to Bo, my husband, and I said to him, "Who is that wrinkled woman looking back at me?" He goes, "Well, you can always fill them back out." And I said, "Well, too bad. You're going to have to learn to live with the wrinkles, and me too. But
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want
Mm-hmm.
to do that again."
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just natural, and when you get our age, there's going to be droops, whether no matter what. It's just a fact of life.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to feel stronger. Just the walking. For me, the walking makes me feel better, more toned.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm just happier. I'm just a happier person all the way around, having lost the weight. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on 10 or 15 pounds more, but it's not a do or die thing right now. It's I'm working at it, and I'll get there. But
Mm-hmm.
I just feel so much better. You can't describe it.
You had said to me about how you talk to yourself, like you say, is this a smart move?
Yes.
Is this going to help me or hurt me? Something to that effect.
Yeah. When well, everybody gets stressful moments, and I'm a comfort eater. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
comfort food eater. I'd grab a donut or an ice cream or something, and a cinnamon bun, carbs always, and a comfort food eater. So now I've done away with that. I don't do that. But even if I try to make sure I'm actually hungry before I put something in my mouth. I can say, okay, well, will a protein drink get me through, or will a cup of coffee, a glass of water, or something. I don't do juices or sodas. Something else, get my mind occupied, because do I really need this? Am I hungry? If I'm not hungry, then there's no sense in putting it in my mouth. So kind of give myself a little pep talk once in a while on that, because you do fall into that habit. You're bored, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it's easy to grab something and stick it in your mouth.
And I mean, I know for me, we just cleaned our plates. It was just something we did growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
didn't leave food on your. Now it's like when you're out to eat, some people think it's the polite thing to do to leave a little bit of food on your plate. Like we would never have thought of that.
Oh, I know. I know. That's the way we were raised. And
Mm-hmm.
we were always allowed to fix our own plates, but I've watched other families, and I kind of scolded my sister one day because she made her daughter a plate of food, and then the daughter was little. She was only 6 or 7. She said, "I can't eat all this, Mommy. You clean your plate." And I said to her, "You and I are both fighting weight situations, and that's one of the reasons, because
Mm-hmm.
we ate too much on our plate this time, and we shouldn't have to eat it all." So, yeah, it's something you can do without even thinking about it.
Well, and you had also told me that it's better to put less on your plate when you do fix your plate,
Yes.
take smaller portions, and then if you are really hungry, literally hungry still, then you can go back for a little more.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, definitely. Portion
What are
control.
portion? What are some? Do you have any other points you'd like to share?
I don't know. I think, over the years, I've learned what works for me, and it might not work for a lot of other people, but I give myself a pep talk, like, don't put so much on my plate. I can go back. And another little secret I found is I got a luncheon size plate that goes with our dinner plates. I use the luncheon size because, you put smaller portions on a great big 10-inch plate or a 9-inch plate. It doesn't look like much, and you almost feel like, well, geez, that's not much to eat. But you put it on a smaller plate, and it looks like a lot. So that's another trick. You can kind of mind trick yourself a little bit, Get a little smaller plate to put your food on. You won't put so much on there.
That's excellent. Yeah, I have both size plates like that too in my Corelware Perfect. That's
That's
what I need to do too. I
that's what
like
I
that
do.
idea.
Even with
Hmm.
paper plates, they'll use a bigger plate. I go pick for the smaller one, and I look at it and I think, oh, I actually eat it now and think, I don't know if I can eat all that. But if I put
Hmm.
it on a big plate, I'd look at it and think that's not very much to eat. And I'd probably go back and get
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Well,
So,
they say our stomachs shrink when we start to lose weight, or so whether we don't always need as much food, we don't feel as hungry because our stomachs literally shrink.
yes, I
So,
find that
yeah.
I couldn't eat now what I ate a year ago.
Mhm.
Definitely.
So what's the major difference you've seen? I think you've already said it. The major thing is the difference in your health and what you can do and how
Yes.
you feel, right?
I was
Mhm.
just at the doctor's. I had a checkup. Blood work was excellent. My thyroid, which I have issues with, they've cut my medicine back. In the past year, they've cut my medicine back twice. And I have to go in 6 weeks because my thyroid has started acting so much better on its own that I may
Mhm.
eventually be able to go off of that medication altogether.
Oh my, I have hypothyroidism. What do you have?
I had hypo. I started out as hypo.
Uh-huh.
And after I started dieting, it turned around and it started going the other way.
Oh
It's
wow.
actually considered hyper now, and that's why they keep cutting my medication back. And
Okay.
I looked at the doctor and I said, well, that's not going to help with my weight loss. And he started laughing. He goes, well, you're
Yeah.
doing good enough that you don't need it. You just don't.
Hmm.
So that'd be great if I could get off of that. I don't know if I ever will, but I am certainly taking a lot less than what I started out taking.
Yeah, me too. They've got me all the way down to 50 micrograms now, which I don't know if it even goes any lower than that. I'm not sure.
I don't
So
know.
when I go back in the summer, I'm hoping to see my numbers change. My cholesterol, my lipid panels weren't good. Were yours worse like a year ago, and they've
Yeah,
improved?
they were not good at all a year ago. And on
Hmm.
the keto diet, they've improved,
Hmm.
but because um, I am more of like I said, I'm more of a carnivore. I eat more meats
Hmm.
and all kinds of meats. And I'm fortunate because we have all our own
Hmm.
homegrown. My daughter raises all the chickens and turkeys that we need. We have our own beef that we raise, and that's all grass fed, and
Hmm.
pork and everything that we have. Our meats, basically, we raise our own, so we know what's going into it. It's no growth
Hmm.
hormones or anything, so it's a lot healthier for us. We do that too because Bo has had heart issues and had open heart surgery, so he
Hmm.
has to have certain, you know, he couldn't eat red meat if we didn't raise it ourselves. So
Hmm.
I do eat a lot more meat and maybe meat and vegetables, some salads, but I don't do potatoes. I don't do pastas. I don't do any of that. And some people do quite a bit of that. And you can do some on the keto and different things. But I know that I can't allow myself to do it because then I would just
Hmm.
crave it. So
Once you would start, you wouldn't be able to
yeah,
stop. Okay.
yep.
And
So
that's how I am with a bag of potato chips.
yes,
I don't like the personal size. I like the family
I
size.
like the family size. Yep, yep.
Well, and that's great that you have you grow all your own meat. Do you still do dairy or don't you do dairy anymore? I mean,
We
do you still have milking cows is what I'm
We have
asking.
milking cows, yes. Right
Mhm.
now they're all dry. We don't have any that we're milking right now, but we do have
Mhm.
our own. So all summer we have our own milk. We were actually making our own cheeses, and
Mm.
we had a big garden, so we canned everything, and a lot of it is just on the stuff that we do ourselves. We don't buy a whole lot. So
Mhm. Oh, that's awesome. Man, we should do a show with you sometime on how to do all of that.
well,
There's a homesteading channel I like that's really cool
hmm
that they where they talk about all that. And well, I don't think I was raised on a farm. I mean, there were the five farmer brothers.
yep,
Your uh, your father-in-law was one of the five,
yes,
and but I didn't marry a farmer, and so I kind of I'm away from all of that. But
yeah,
that's great that you can do that.
yep. And the
Good.
girls all do it too.
Yeah,
Like I said, they
yeah.
all have their own. My oldest daughter, they have the dairy cows and beef cows across the road in the old Wallace place. Um,
Mm-hmm.
is Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
She raises all her chickens, ducks,
Mm-hmm.
turkeys, lamb. and pigs, and they butcher their own. So when we get from them, we know just exactly what we're getting.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and we have our own beef and dairy. So that way the whole family is kind of rounded out and got, self-sufficient that direction.
So yeah, the best way to eat off the land and eat local.
Yep.
And for you, it's local. It's your own.
If you can find a farmer that has, and go halves with a family or quarters and get your own beef, and from the butcher, it's great because you're not getting all that stuff from the store. And
how do you think that affects you? The antibiotics and the growth hormones that they put in the meats. It comes down through into the milk too, right?
Well, we don't use antibiotics.
I mean, you don't, but I mean those who do.
Well, the beef market, I think, they do. They use growth hormones and stuff. And some of the milk, for years, they did use different things in the milk. We never went that direction, but I don't think it's good at all for anybody. And that's why the girls all are glad that they have enough land that they can grow their own, and their kids don't get it. It's and they they're hunters, so they have deer meat and things like that that are much more lean and better for them. So I think it's just healthier.
Good. So if you're going to do keto, the best way to go is to, if you can't have your own, grow your own, raise your own, to try to get local and
organic. Organic is good too, because you don't have all your pesticides and everything.
Go ahead.
And there is a place for the sprays and the pesticides and stuff, because people want a perfect apple. They don't want an apple that's gnarly and got a spot on it. That's why all this stuff came into use. And quite frankly, they couldn't feed this country if they didn't use that. We could not produce enough to feed everybody if it wasn't for that. If everybody was organic, people would be hungry. We cannot produce enough organically to feed everybody in the country.
So what's your thoughts on the GMO? Like I hear, one farmer will say, it's perfectly fine, it's okay. And another more of a purist would say, that's terrible, don't do it. I mean, like if we go out and buy flour, unless we spend a ridiculous amount of money to get some kind of GMO-free, is it okay? Or what do you think as a farmer?
I think we have to make our compromises where we have to, and when we grew corn to feed the cows, we grew conventional, which meant we didn't have the GMO corn. Now it's very hard to find. Almost everything is, and it's, I don't know. I think it's a trade-off that we might not really have a choice in it at some point on some things. So
okay, wow, a lot of good advice. Thank you. So before I am going to put up before and after pictures. So when I edit this, they'll be on the final cut, and we're excited about seeing your great progress. That's awesome.
Well, thank you.
We're believing you're going to keep it off, and I'm believing I've started losing my weight. I believe I'm going down to the weight I need to, and I hope this video just blesses a lot of people. Thanks, Jeanette, for being with us, and we'll talk to you again, maybe.
Okay, thanks.
This has been great. Yeah, I like especially the maybe some of the farmer stuff and the homesteading kind of. Maybe some tips on that would be good at some point.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is Know and Grow. You can't live what you don't know. Thanks for joining with us. And that was Jeanette Carlson Swingle, my cousin's wife. They live up in Northeast Pennsylvania. And I come from a family of farmers, 5 brothers, 5 farmers. And her father-in-law was one of those. And this has been a delight to have Jeanette. So I hope this helps somebody. And we'll be keeping on going with Get Out on the Skinny Limb next week. And for now, take care. And remember, Colossians 1:10b says, all the while we will grow as we learn to know God better and better. Know and grow. You can't live what you don't know. Take care. Bye-bye.